So after my critical tips video, a lot of you guys were saying, yeah, play unlocked. That's the way to get backstabs as an Estus punish. So I figured, okay, I'll try that out. I'll see what I can do with that, and get back with you guys. First off, shout out to Project Goof and the Platinum 7. Those guys' channels helped me immensely with this. But you kind of have to do it yourself to really get a feel for it. As you can see right there, what it comes down to is playing unlocked, yes, but getting a read on your opponent. And then that backstab box, if you guys will remember me talking about this, it's much more forgiving than it would appear to be. Yeah, once you get behind them and initiate the backstab grab, as long as they're not out of range of it. Here's the build, by the way. It's a soul level 90, quote-unquote, quality build. But yeah, as long as you initiate that backstab and they're still in range when the backstab grab starts up, because that's sort of the distance or the range check on the backstab, you'll get it. As you could see, my opponent there was spinning around in a circle, and that wasn't enough to stop it from going off. So yeah, play unlocked, chase them down, especially if they're going to run, you know, in a straight line. If they're zigzagging, serpentine, roly-poly, it's going to be a little harder to do, but yeah, you can do it. That's how you do it. That's how you get to it reliably. I'm not going to say it's more effective than the R1, but it is a nice little option to have, especially if you're the kind of guy who's playing with the Hornet Ring on. One of the reasons I don't think the Hornet Ring is super efficient in invasions, and I get a lot of flack for this, is the fact that you have to wear it all the fucking time, and you're not backstabbing all the time. Here's another thing I get a little bit of flack for. A lot of people question my love of the falchion. One, a lot of it's nostalgia. But two, if you remember in Dark Souls 1, look at that. Just intercept the quick step. If you remember in Dark Souls 1, the reason the falchion was so popular, and the reason Brandon Ouroboros used the falchion, was because it deterred people from going for backstabs because of its left to right. Now, any curved sword will do that, sure. But they're not going to have, you know, the memories that I have with the falchion. Quick step users, circle backstabbers, falchion is awesome against that kind of stuff, as I'm sure any curved greatsword is. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think a falchion probably does the most damage of the curved swords. I know it does early. You guys remember? Parry on reaction, those ultra great weapons. Parry those on reaction. Still a setup parry technically, but, you know. Here we'll kind of brush up on our setup parries, if you guys will remember those. Again, we're using a medium shield, so these are always going to be a little bit of a guess. Basically, after the first attack bounces off your shield, you're hitting parry, as you'll see here. A little bit of a guess, but if your opponent looks like the type of guy that's going to throw out multiple R1s, you can go for that. As opposed to the parry we saw before with the Ultra, we didn't have to guess. As soon as we saw the attack start up, we knew what was going on. And one other thing I want to touch on before we get back to the backstabs is some of you guys were asking me about the falchion. I love the falchion, and here's another example of what makes the falchion so great. Now, granted, you could probably do this with any curved sword. Like I said, for me, it's a bit of nostalgia. Unless I'm correct in thinking the falchion does more damage, because I'm thinking it's like the most powerful curved sword as far as AR goes. But watch this, man. This is beautiful. The R2 into the weapon art, R2, L2, R2, that's a true combo if you can hit the R2. And I use it as a roll catch, which is difficult, but it can be done. Just melts that dude, man. But yeah, backstabs, I know. That's what we came to see. That's what we paid to see. Wait, none of y'all are paying me. Why are none of y'all paying me? Click the ads, damn it. Let's get back to punishing Estus with a backstab. In all honesty, it's easier than it looks. You just really have to get out there and try it a few times. But what happens is the backstab grab box is huge. But you'll never see it when you're locked on, because people are always like moving around, and for whatever reason, when you're unlocked, you really get total access to that backstab grab box. Exhibit A, Your Honor. Look at that. That was crazy. How big the we'll see that again. The process for the backstab starts here, right when I unlock and I start chasing him around. Notice how I'm not running the whole time. But did you see how big that box was? Unlocked, you get the full benefit of that entire grab box. So punishing the Estus is much easier. But it's all about getting a read on your opponent, being unlocked, and just getting in that general vicinity. Here's another example of an unlocked backstab. I would have done this locked on up until, you know, yesterday when I started doing this. Now there's a 50-50 shot. Had that been a locked on backstab, there's a 50-50 shot that my character would have just done the arm pull back and then poked him in the butt. Which, you know, you don't want to just poke him in the butt. You want to dig your crotch directly into their butt and then get the penetration. I'm sorry, it was too easy. But yeah, it totally removes any room for error. It totally removes any room for error when you go about it that way. So yeah, unlocked. That's seriously, it's that simple. That's the ticket. You really, that's the best directions I can give you guys, because you have to just learn to do it. Now, if somebody's doing a lot of zigzagging and rolling and running when you're trying to get the beat on them for that backstab, it's almost fucking impossible. So in those kind of situations, you know what I mean, like settle on the 2 R1s for the Estus punish. Here we have a group of co-op guys, all over leveled except for the host. I think they're all over leveled, if memory serves. And in this invasion, I just wanted to kind of touch on, you know, like, I know, you know, we all talk about point down and how point down is like an overused gesture and like you shouldn't let it get under your skin and stuff, but you know, fuck that. Sometimes fuck that. If I'm an I missed the parry, I missed the backstab, I missed everything. If I invade you and I'm wearing the untrue dark ring, I think it should be pretty apparent that, you know, like, one, I'm at a disadvantage already because I'm invading and there's fucking 5 of you. But more than that, you know, it's not like I'm going full-blown kill zone on y'all motherfuckers. I'm wearing the untrue dark ring. I'm trying to be a character, you know what I mean? I'm trying to role play, trying to have some fun with you guys. So it kind of triggers me a little bit. I kind of get a little upset when I see these fingers in a downward direction. Like, why would you do that to me? But if you got that many phantoms, boyo, that means you got fucking dried fingers. And if you got dried fingers, you have yourself a fucking problem. It's like point down PTSD, man. Long-term invaders, they get that, and it's like the Incredible Hulk, except it's try hard. It's like try hard Hulk. You're making me try hard. You wouldn't like me when I'm try hard. Here we have a fellow invader. His name was Strength, STR, and he was using a strength build, oddly enough. I invaded with him on a couple of occasions. Really good player, and I had a lot of fun co-invading with him. So, STR, if you're out there, thumbs up for me, dude. But back to this invasion, we're going to see some really cool unlocked backstabs. But just touching on that PTSD comment, you know, play the way you want to. Gestures really don't, I will fucking kill you! They don't mean anything. It's just, you play how you want to. And at the end of the day, that's what makes Dark Souls so great. Get fucked on! You can be an invader, you can co-op, you can PvE, you know, and when I invade, I try to make sure that my hosts or the phantoms, you know, I would like it if they were having as much fun as I'm having, because at the end of the day, it's all about fun. That's what this comes down to, you know. And it's really sad when you see people trying to make sure other people aren't having a good time. That's just not what I'm about, really. But having said that, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to we all paid money for the same game,
And, you know, you want to co-op and play PvE, and that's part of the game, so you should be allowed to do that. But invading is also part of the game, so I should get to do that as well. No hard feelings one way or the other. Get shit on.